August 1793. France stands at a precipice. The revolution that began with hope and the promise of liberty now teeters on the edge of annihilation. The old order has been swept away, the king executed, and the streets of Paris run thick with suspicion and fear. Across Europe, monarchs unite in a grand coalition determined to crush the fledgling republic before its radical ideas spread. The armies of Britain, Spain, Austria, Prussia, and others press in from all sides, eager to carve up France and restore the monarchy. But the peril does not come from abroad alone. Within France itself, the revolution has sown deep divisions. In the Vendée, royalists and peasants rise in bloody rebellion. In Lyon, Marseille, and Bordeaux, moderates and conservatives resist the increasingly radical government in Paris. Civil war rages, pitting neighbor against neighbor, brother against brother, and now disaster strikes in the south. The port city of Toulon, the jewel of France's Mediterranean coast, has fallen. Its royalist citizens, fearing retribution from the revolutionary government, open their gates to the British fleet. Admiral Samuel Hood, commanding a powerful Anglo-Spanish armada, sails triumphantly into the harbor, greeted by cheers and the fluttering white flags of the Bourbons. With him come Spanish, Neapolitan, and Sardinian allies, eager to share in the spoils. The loss is catastrophic. Toulon is not merely a city, it is France's principal naval base in the Mediterranean. Its vast arsenal holds hundreds of cannons, thousands of muskets, mountains of powder and shot. The French Mediterranean fleet, newly built and bristling with warships, now lies in enemy hands. With Toulon, the Allies have seized a dagger pointed at the heart of the revolution. News of the disaster reaches Paris like a thunderclap. The Committee of Public Safety, the de facto government of revolutionary France, is outraged. To lose Toulon is to risk losing the entire South, and with it, the war. Orders are dispatched with the utmost urgency. Toulon must be retaken, whatever the cost. The task falls to the Army of the Republic, a motley force that gathers outside the city's walls. It is a chaotic assembly. Some are regular soldiers, veterans of earlier campaigns. Others are raw volunteers, fired by revolutionary zeal but lacking training and discipline. Supplies are short, leadership is uncertain, and morale is brittle. A succession of commanders, each more frustrated than the last, struggles to coordinate the siege, but progress is painfully slow. Amidst this confusion, a young artillery officer arrives. His name is Napoleon Bonaparte. He is 24 years old, a native of Corsica, and speaks French with a thick accent that many find odd, even comical. He is not well known, not yet. His uniform is worn, his manner intense, his eyes sharp and restless. Napoleon's assignment is modest. He is to serve as second-in-command of the artillery, filling in for a wounded superior. The overall commander, General Jean-François Carteau, is a former painter with little military experience. He regards his new subordinate with skepticism, dismissing his suggestions and insisting on frontal assaults against the city's formidable defenses. But Napoleon is not content to follow orders blindly. He spends days reconnoitering the terrain, studying the city's fortifications, and, most crucially, observing the harbor. Where others see only walls and cannons, he sees the key to the entire operation. He notes the position of the British fleet, the layout of the coastal batteries, and the shape of the land itself. His analysis leads him to a bold conclusion. The true objective is not the city, but the harbor. Whoever controls the promontory of L'Aiguillette, a narrow spit of land overlooking the harbor entrance, controls Toulon. If French guns can be brought to bear on the British ships, the Allies will be forced to abandon the city. Napoleon presents his plan to his superiors. He advocates for a concentrated attack on L'Aiguillette, supported by carefully placed artillery batteries. But his ideas are met with skepticism, even ridicule. Who is this junior officer, this Corsican upstart, to lecture seasoned generals? Carteau brushes him off, determined to storm the city directly. Undeterred, Napoleon writes detailed memoranda, bypassing the chain of command when necessary. He appeals to the representatives on mission, powerful political overseers sent by Paris to ensure revolutionary fervor and discipline. His persistence pays off when, in mid-November, General Jacques-François Dugommier arrives to take command. Dugommier is a professional soldier, a man who recognizes talent when he sees it. He listens to Napoleon, studies his proposals, and gives him the authority to implement his plan. With newfound responsibility, Napoleon springs into action. He surveys the ground personally, selects sites for new batteries, and directs the placement of every gun. The work is grueling, the weather is cold and wet, supplies are scarce, and enemy fire is relentless. But Napoleon's energy is inexhaustible. He organizes teams of craftsmen to repair broken cannons, scours the countryside for horses and powder, and even teaches infantrymen how to serve as artillery crews. His men are inspired by his example. They see him working beside them, sleeping in the mud, risking his life under fire. Meanwhile, the Allied defenders are not idle. They recognize the importance of L'Aiguillette and fortify it heavily. Atop its heights, they build Fort Mulgrave, dubbed Little Gibraltar for its strength. British, Spanish, and Neapolitan troops man the walls, bristling with cannons and protected by deep ditches and sturdy redoubts. As December approaches, the siege becomes a race against time. The longer the Allies hold out, the more reinforcements they can bring in by sea. Napoleon knows that only a swift, decisive blow can turn the tide. By mid-December, his preparations are complete. Batteries are in place, each with a specific target. The French guns begin to pound the Allied positions relentlessly, softening them up for the assault to come. On the night of December 16th, under cover of darkness and driving rain, General Dugommier orders the attack on Fort Mulgrave. The first wave, led by General Lapoipe, is thrown back by withering fire. The men falter in the mud, struggling up the slippery slopes under a hail of grape shot and musket balls. Sensing disaster, Dugommier calls for the reserves. Napoleon volunteers to lead them himself. Limping from a wound received earlier, he rallies the troops, urging them forward. His presence at the front inspires courage. He directs the artillery to lay down a curtain of fire, suppressing the enemy's guns as the infantry advances. The fighting is savage and desperate. French soldiers clash with British and Spanish defenders in brutal hand-to-hand combat. Napoleon is wounded in the thigh by a bayonet but refuses to leave the field. By dawn, the tricolor flag of the Republic flies over the smoking ruins of Fort Mulgrave. With L'Aiguillette secured, Napoleon wastes no time. He orders his batteries moved to the newly captured heights, where they command the entire harbor. From these positions, French guns open fire on the Allied fleet, sending shot and shell crashing into British and Spanish warships. Admiral Hood, aboard his flagship, realizes the game is up. To remain in Toulon is to risk destruction. He orders an immediate evacuation. The scene is one of chaos and panic. Royalist civilians, terrified of revolutionary vengeance, flood the docks, begging for passage on departing ships. Only a fortunate few escape. The rest are left to face the wrath of the victorious Republicans. Before withdrawing, the British set fire to the French fleet and arsenal, determined to deny their use to the enemy. The night sky is lit by towering flames as 42 French ships burn, their magazines exploding in thunderous blasts. It is a bitter blow to French naval power, but the city is lost to the Allies. On December 19th, French troops march into Toulon. The aftermath is grim. Revolutionary representatives Paul Barras and Stanislas Fréron oversee brutal reprisals against those accused of collaborating with the British. Hundreds are executed in the following days. Napoleon, focused on restoring order and repairing the city's defenses, does not participate in the bloodletting, but he witnesses firsthand the dark side of revolutionary justice. For his role in the victory, Napoleon is promoted to brigadier general at the astonishing age of 24. The representatives write glowing reports to Paris, praising his technical skill, intelligence, and courage. The artillery officer of Toulon becomes a household name among the leaders of the revolution. The siege is more than a personal triumph for Napoleon. It reveals the qualities that will define his career: a keen eye for terrain, an understanding of the decisive point in battle, a willingness to innovate, and the personal bravery to lead from the front. He demonstrates the power of well-directed artillery, the importance of logistics and preparation, and the value of swift, concentrated action. These lessons will serve him well in the years to come. From the plains of Italy to the sands of Egypt, from the snows of Russia to the fields of Waterloo, Napoleon will apply the principles he first employed at Toulon. He will rise from general to first consul to emperor, reshaping France and Europe in his image. The significance of Toulon extends beyond the battlefield. It marks the emergence of a new kind of leader, dynamic, meritocratic, and ruthless. It shows the world that the revolution, for all its chaos and violence, can produce men of extraordinary ability. Without Toulon, there might never have been a Napoleonic empire, no sweeping reforms, no campaigns that would echo through the centuries.